Hello my friends, today we will take a look at new 7-inch ultra bright monitor Feelworld FW279S. I started using on-camera monitors last year and it has changed my workflow quite a bit. I also made a review of two very good monitors, Master MA5 and MA6, also made by Feelworld. FW279S is basically the next stage of on-camera monitors with some great specs and features. So we will take a look at the screen, build quality, input, supported standards, and of course the brightness, which is the main highlight of this monitor. So as I said, it is 7-inch monitor, which is probably the biggest size that I would use as on-camera monitor, but carrying around 7-inch monitor is in my opinion worth it, because it is much easier to see the details on larger monitor. It is also much easier to set the exposure on larger screen and also to set the focus. It is definitely on the large side, but I am still okay with the size. It uses 7-inch 8-bit IPS screen with 1920 by 1200 resolution, 323 pixel per inch pixel density, and 160 degrees viewing angle. It is 16 by 10 screen, I'm not sure why, but it is not a big deal for me. As I have said, the main highlight of this monitor is that 2200 nit brightness. And it really is extremely bright. On-camera monitors usually output about 450 nit, so it is indeed a huge difference. The difference is mostly visible outdoors, where a 450 nit monitor can be generally used, but you will get a lot of glare in strong sunlight and you will probably have to use the sunshade. With FW279 it is not a problem, it doesn't even come with sunshade because it doesn't need one. Here you can also see how it compares to Samsung Galaxy S9 set to maximal brightness, which should provide more context. The image is very sharp thanks to high pixel density, so checking the focus won't be a problem, and it looks really good. It uses Rec 709 color standard and it is also calibrated from factory, which means that what you see on the screen should match the real output, and I am generally very happy with colors out of the box. Level of contrast and saturation is also very reasonable, so I didn't have to change any color settings, but it is of course possible if you wish to do so. Regarding the build quality, it is made of plastics, and I can't say that it feels premium, but the build quality is still fine, especially for the price, which is in my opinion very reasonable, so I am okay with the build quality. Regarding the input, it has HDMI input, which supports 4K Ultra HD up to 30 frames per second, but I've tested it with 4K 60p on Panasonic G9 and it worked without problems, even though 4K 60p is not officially supported. 4K DCI is supported up to 24 frames per second. I unfortunately don't have any camera that can shoot 4K DCI, so I can't test that. This is the S version, which means that it also has SDI input and output, which is professional broadcast standard, but it only supports 1080p up to 60p. That is the only difference between the S and non-S version, so if you don't need SDI output, just get the non-S version. It also has HDMI out port for passing the signal to another monitor. There is also headphone audio jack, which is especially useful if you have a camera without headphone output, such as Sony A7III or A6500. Updating the firmware is possible using the mini USB connector. Mini USB cable, small ball head, and mini HDMI to HDMI cable is included as well. Regarding the powering options, monitor comes with included battery plate for Sony NP-F batteries, and you can also purchase different battery plates separately. You can also power the monitor from wall socket using 12V DC input, which is very useful because it drains battery pretty quickly. 22 mAh battery will last about 40 to 50 minutes with brightness set to 50%, which is actually a reasonable figure considering the size and the brightness. I use it with 6600 mAh NP-F 970 battery or with DC power. Regarding the mounting options, it has standard 1/4 inch thread on the bottom of the screen, so you can use it with various mounting solutions. My most favorite way to mount this monitor on A7 Mark III is using small rig half cage reference 2238, handle reference 2187, and friction cold shoe mount Cine SHM03, which enables me to tilt the screen and also rotate it towards me, which is very useful if you want to film yourself in front of the camera. There is also 75mm VISA mount on the back of the monitor, which means that we might see some third-party monitor cages introduced later on. Menu is the same as on MA6 and MA5 that I have used for the last couple of months. It is controlled by the buttons on the top of the camera, which is a bit old-fashioned, but it works, and the menu is fortunately quite simple and well organized. It allows you to change image settings if you are not happy with out-of-the-box performance. Then there are general settings, zoom settings, function settings, and custom button settings. FW279 also has a variety of useful features and aids that can help you with your production. There is focus peaking, which is pretty reliable, and together with the resolution, it makes manual focusing pretty easy, and you can also use zoom in function for very precise focusing. Zebra stripes are also here, and you can set the level of overexposure when the stripe starts to appear. Histogram is available as well, and it is also quite accurate. Another feature that can help you with setting the right exposure are the false colors, although I personally don't use those. You can also use various aspect ratio markers, for example if you are shooting in white 2.35:1 aspect ratio or square footage for Instagram. It is also possible to flip the image if you need to use monitor upside down. I am mainly using this monitor with Sony A7III. As I have explained in my MA5 and MA6 review, Sony cameras unfortunately don't support information display over HDMI when you are shooting 4K, so you won't be able to see the settings on external monitor. Also, when you start recording, the screen on camera goes black and you can't really see the focus area either. That is not the fault of this monitor, it is Sony's fault, and I really hope that they will somehow fix this. I'm also using this monitor with Panasonic G9. There it is flawless. You can choose whether you want to see the settings on external monitor or you just want to see the clean output. 4K 60p also works despite that it is not officially supported, so it works great with my G9. If you have Panasonic GH5 or GH5S and you shoot log, you can also use LUT that you can import into your GH5, which can be applied to HDMI output as well, so you won't have to look at flat picture. It is unfortunately not possible to load LUT into this monitor. To sum up this review, the main reason why I use external monitors is that it makes me able to see what I am shooting in format that is closer to typical display device that my content will be viewed on, so I have better idea about what I have shot. It significantly decreases the amount of footage that I have to throw out because it was incorrectly exposed, out of focus, or unusable for some other reason. That is not always visible on the screen on the back of the camera. That makes me able to save some time and trouble, which is something that I always appreciate. MA6 that I've previously used was already a great upgrade over on-camera screen, especially on Sony A6500, and FW279 takes it to another level. 7 inch is probably the biggest monitor that I would consider for on-camera use, but it is worth having that large screen in my opinion. The sharpness makes checking focus very easy, colors are pretty accurate, and 2200 nit brightness means that the outdoors visibility won't be a problem anymore, and last but not least, the price is very reasonable in my opinion. Regarding negatives, build quality is fine but not particularly premium, the menu requires some time to get used to, but you probably won't have to change the settings that often, and there are also those 2 function buttons for quick settings. It also drains the battery a lot, which is the price for that size and brightness. One more thing that I don't like on these monitors is that the LED on the front of the monitor is always on, so it drains the battery a bit, so I always have to take the battery out of the battery plate. Overall, I am very happy with this monitor and I intend to use it a lot for the production on this channel and also for my other projects. So that's it for this video, thank you for watching, I hope that you liked this video and that you found it to be useful. Stay tuned for more videos and maybe consider subscribing if you don't want to miss my future content. I appreciate your feedback in form of thumbs up or thumbs down. If you would like to ask anything or share your opinion, please do so in the comment section, and see you next time.